I've tried to do this 6 times and we're just gonna roll. So that would be less than 24 hours. Let's do some math together. I love the writing of this. This blurb is killing me. Did you see how I fumbled my way through that name? That could be it for me. I basically was like, yep. So Harriet is a novel. Harriet's a novel. No, she's not. She's a person. I just talked about, I always forget the name of it. Hi everybody, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter and Converse and welcome to another month of new releases. I can't believe it's October. I'm so excited it's October. I'm filming this in September, but we're talking about October. So it is officially fall. It is officially Libra season. I am in sweater weather gear. I'm so excited about it. So compared to the past couple of months, I feel like I have a much shorter list to talk about this month, but there are some that I'm excited about. There's one that's like super aspirational for me to get to. And let's just dive into what's coming out in October. Okay, now I am not usually one to jump the seasons or jump the holidays in any way by talking about Christmas books on October 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whenever it is you guys are seeing this video. But I got an email from the Poison Pen talking about this book and I was totally intrigued, so here we go. October 4th, first book is The Christmas Murder Game by Alexandra Benedict. 12 clues, 12 keys, 12 days of Christmas, but how many will die before 12th night? Not gonna lie, you guys, that was all I read and I was like, yep, added it to my list, added it to this list, totally in, but I will give you a little bit more in case you need a little bit more. But murder mystery, recommended by Poison Pen, I'm totally in. So this is the annual Christmas game is afoot at Endgame House, the Armitage's grand family home. Did you see how I fumbled my way through that name? This year's prize is to die for, deeds to the house itself. But Lily Armitage has no intention of returning. She hasn't been back to Endgame since her mother died 21 years ago, and she has no intention of claiming the house that haunts her dreams. Until, that is, she receives a letter from her aunt promising that this game's riddles will give her the keys not only to Endgame, but to its darkest secrets, including the identity of her mother's murderer. Do you see why I'm obsessed with this book? Now Lily must compete with her estranged cousins for the 12 days of Christmas. The snow is thick, the phone lines are down, and no one is getting in or out. Lily will have to keep her wits about her because not everyone is playing fair, and there's no telling how many will die before the winner is declared. So I love an isolated thriller. I love a past and present mystery. I love a reluctant return home. This is like everything I want in a book. And it says also, this book includes additional scavenger hunts for the reader. This clever murder mystery is the perfect gift for fans of classic mysteries, festive Christmas books, and armchair detective work. I feel like this is a read-along book where we are going to be in Lily's shoes with her trying to figure out what's the what. There's a bonus scavenger hunt for the reader in the book? I don't even know. It's like low-key interactive. I'm just super intrigued. Yeah, we're starting the month strong. We're definitely starting strong. The next book is probably a little bit more appropriate for this spooky season time of year, and this is Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. So last year, right around this time, I read Cackle, which I loved so much. And it had witchy vibes and great humor and some great darkness to it, and I was totally obsessed. And I did pick up The Return, which was Rachel Harrison's first book, which I haven't read yet, but here we are talking about her third book. So in this one, we are following a girl named Rory, and it says she isn't thrilled to be moving back to her hometown, even if it's temporary. There are bad memories there, but her twin sister Scarlett is pregnant, estranged from the baby's father, and needs support. So Rory returns to the place she thought she'd put in her rear view. I love a reluctant return home, one of my most favorite tropes. So after a night out at the bar where Rory runs into an old, almost flame, she hits a large animal with her car, and when she gets out to investigate, she's attacked. So miraculously, Rory survives, but life begins to look and feel a little bit different. She's unnaturally strong with an aversion to silver, and suddenly the moon has her in its thrall. She's changing into someone else, something else, maybe even a monster. But does that mean she's putting those close to her in danger? Or is embracing the wildness inside of her the key to acceptance? So this is darkly comedic love story, brilliantly layered, and I'm really excited for it. So this is a werewolf novel, which is so not my norm in any stretch, but like I said, huge fan of Cackle, and I'm just a fan of Rachel Harrison, so definitely adding this to my watch list. Next up is Pretty Dead Queens by Alexa Dunn. So I read her book that came out last year, The Ivies, and Alexa is also a fellow BU grad. We were not there at the same time, and I do not know her at all, but I'm always excited to support a fellow BU grad, writer, all the things. But this book actually is giving me major Karen McManus Two Can Keep a Secret vibes, and this one is about Seaview High's homecoming queen, and she is dead, and she's not the first. So we've got a decades-old mystery, we've got a copycat killing, and we've got a teen detective. So I think this is like amateur detective-ish kind of vibes, which I love. So we are following 17-year-old Cecilia Ellis, and her mom has passed away from cancer, and Cecilia winds up going to live with her estranged grandmother, a celebrated author whose Victorian mansion is as creepy as the murder mysteries she writes. So atmospheric to the nth degree. On the surface, life is utterly ordinary in the California coastal town, until the homecoming queen is murdered, and she's not Seaview's first pretty dead queen, hence the title. With a copycat killer on the loose, Cecilia throws herself into the investigation, determined to crack the case like the heroines in her grandmother's books. But the more Cecilia digs into the town's secrets, the more she worries that her own mystery might not have a storybook ending. So I follow Alexa Dunn on YouTube. She actually has an AuthorTube channel, so she gives writing advice, she does writing blogs, she has some interesting content, she does some book reviews. And when she was drafting this book, she was calling it Murder She Texted, which you guys know I'm obsessed with Murder She Wrote. So I think this has that sort of amateur teen detective-ish kind of a feel to it. So again, antenna is up, definitely intrigued, and I will keep you guys posted what I think about it. But again, does remind me of Karen McManus, kind of that same vibe. You know I love a mystery in the past and a mystery in the present, so that'll be out, the final one, for October 4th. Next up for October 18th is probably, if I had to pick, my most anticipated book of the month, and this is John Marr's Keep It in the Family. So I am a big fan of his. I have not read a fraction of enough of his books despite owning them, but here I am looking at the newest one that is coming out. So this one is about a young couple's house hiding terrible secrets, and not all of them are confined to the past. So in this book, we are following Mia and Finn, and they have purchased basically a fixer-upper house that they're going to turn into their dream home. And while they are working on it, Mia winds up discovering a chilling message that is scored into a skirting board. And it says, "I will save them from the attic." So, of course, they have to follow the clue up to the attic, where they make a gruesome discovery. Their dream home was once a house of horrors. In the wake of their traumatic discovery, so Mia has found out while they were fixing up the house, she is unexpectedly pregnant. She winds up having the baby, but Mia can't shake her fixation with the monstrous crimes that happened right above them. Haunted by the terrible things she saw and desperate to find answers, her obsession pulls her even further from her husband. Yes! Secrecy shrouds the mystery of the attic, but when shards of a dark truth start to emerge, I love the writing of this. This blurb is killing me. Mia realizes the danger is terrifyingly present, but is she prepared to do anything to protect her family, or is it already too late? I can't even imagine. I think John Marrs writes such incredibly well-crafted stories. I love his characters, how he interweaves the stories. I talked about recently, I think I posted it by now, What Lies Between Us, which is a great story about a past and present mystery, and I just love the dynamics between his characters, his twists and turns. Like, he is one of those authors where you can binge a book in no time flat. I legit read the one in just shy, I think, of 24 hours. Like, picked it up on a Saturday night, and by Sunday night I was done with it. So that would be less than 24 hours. Let's do some math together. I was totally obsessed with it. So like I said, it has been far too long since I've read one of his books. I do have The Good Samaritan, but I also have my eyes on this one. There's just something about the house fixer-upper, and a little bit of that kind of message carved in reminds me of the pilot episode of Nancy Drew, the TV show, if anybody watched that. So I don't know if this is supernatural. I don't know if this is just thriller or like dark mystery, or is there like somebody living in the walls? I have absolutely no idea, but I'm here for it. He's amazing. Next up is a book by an author I haven't read from yet, which is not to say I don't own one of her books, because I 100% do, but this is The Family Game by Catherine Steadman. So I do own The Disappearing Act, and I will read it and let you guys know what I think of it. Stumble over my words. you know, me filming a video. So I was doing the research for October and I saw this one, recognized her name obviously, and started to read the blurb on it, and I was intrigued, so here we are. So this one is about a rich, eccentric family. I love rich people behaving badly, one of my favorite things. Okay, so again, rich people, eccentric family, a time-honored tradition, or a lethal game of survival. One woman is about to find out. So Harriet is a novelist on the brink of stardom, and Edward is her fiancé, and he is seemingly perfect. Aren't they always? So in love and freshly engaged, their bliss is interrupted by the reemergence of the Holbecks, which is Edward's family, his eminent family, and the embodiment of American old money. I've tried to do this 6 times, and we're just gonna roll. So for years, they've dominated headlines and pulled society's strings, and Edward left them all behind to forge his own path. But there are eyes and ears everywhere. It was only a matter of time before they were pulled back in. After all, even though he's long severed ties with his family, Edward is set to inherit it all, and Harriet is drawn to the glamour and sophistication of the Holbecks, who seem to welcome her with open arms. But everything changes when she meets Robert, the inescapably magnetic head of the family. At their first meeting, Robert slips Harriet a cassette tape, revealing a shocking confession which sets the inevitable game in motion. I have no idea what's happening here, but I'm totally intrigued. What is it about Harriet that made him give her the tape? A thing that has the power to destroy everything. As she ramps up her quest for the truth, she must endure the Holbeck's savage Christmas traditions, all the while knowing that losing this game could be deadly. So I don't know what is up with these messed up rich people behaving badly, but you guys know me. Sounds dark and messed up. This sounds completely up my alley. And this all is coming to a head around Christmas traditions and such, so maybe great for the end of the year. If you're looking for something holiday-ish to read, 'tis the season. If you guys saw my Booktrovert bingo, this is definitely a contender for that. So ding, ding, ding. If you haven't, I'll link it. But I'm just super intrigued, like I said. So I haven't read by her yet, but I am intrigued by this book, and it's on the list. Next up, I have Anywhere You Run by Wanda M. Morris. So this is sort of historical mystery in that it takes place in the 60s, which I've said it before and I'll say it again. It hurts me that things that were set in the 60s is historical fiction. But again, we're just going to keep rolling with it. I am definitely a fan of Wanda Morris as a writer, so I do have all her little secrets, which I haven't read yet. Don't come for me. But I listened to an interview with her originally on Sisters in Crime, and then I kind of went down a bit of a rabbit hole with some of her interviews. And I love her story as a writer, and I find her writing advice and her perspective to be very inspirational and very interesting. And she's one of these people that I could just listen to talking about writing for a really long time. So now I need to turn that corner and start reading her books, which is why this one's on the list. So I do love the murder mystery aspect of this. So it says, with the murder of a white man in Jim Crow, Mississippi, 2 black sisters run away to different parts of the country. But can they escape the secrets they left behind? So it's the summer of 1964, and 3 innocent men are brutally murdered for trying to help black Mississippians secure the right to vote. Against this backdrop, 22-year-old Violet Richards finds herself in more trouble than she's ever been in her life. Suffering a brutal attack of her own, she kills the man responsible. But with the color of Violet's skin, there's no way she can escape Jim Crow justice in Jackson, Mississippi. So before anyone can find the body or finger her as the killer, she decides to run. With the help of her white beau, Violet escapes. But desperation and fear leads her to hide out in the small rural town of Chillicothe, Georgia. I might be saying that wrong. And she's unaware that danger may be closer than she thinks. But back in Jackson, Violet's older sister has dreams of attending law school. Working for the Mississippi Summer Project, she's been trying to use her smarts to further the cause of the black vote. But Marigold is in a different kind of trouble. She's pregnant and unmarried. After news of the murder brings the police to her door, Marigold sees no choice but to flee Jackson too. She heads north seeking the promise of a better life and no more segregation. But has she made a terrible choice that threatens her life and that of her unborn child? So we have 2 sisters on the run, one from the law, the other from social shame. And it says what they don't realize is that there's a man hot on their trail. This man has his own brand of dark secrets and a disturbing motive for finding the sisters that is unknown to everyone but him. So again, super intrigued. I love the running from the law, murder mystery aspect, these 2 different sisters. And the blurb on the front, it says your past will find you. So I don't know if we fast forward in time. I don't know if we stay in the 60s. You're going to have to tune in to find out. So There you go. And the last book is my aspirational book, which comes out on October 25th. And it's aspirational because it is the 26th book in the Kay Scarpetta series, and this is Livid by Patricia Cornwell. So if you guys have been following me particularly lately, then you would know that I have been gathering up the books that I'm missing from the series. So I started reading the Patricia Cornwell books back in the 90s, and I gobbled up just probably the first 10 or 12, I want to say. And then I had kind of pivoted in what I was reading. It doesn't really matter, but basically I fell off the bus and stopped reading the series, but I was re-inspired to start again. So I started the series again from the beginning a couple of years ago, and I'm up to book 3, which is where I need to be. So I have a long way to go before I get to book number 26, but I am excited for it. I'm excited to be back into a series again. Series September has definitely flipped a switch in me where I'm enjoying being with the same characters, enjoying being with the same author. It's been a really long time since I have, even though I've read multiple books by the same authors, Jennifer Hillier, Lisa Jewell, Riley Sager, keep on going. It's really like a whole different experience to be in a series with the same characters and to be in their history and the development of the stories and the relationships and like how everything just impacts each other and weaves together. So I am making it a mission to work my way back through the series, get caught up to where I was, and then continue onward from there. So if anybody is far ahead of me in the series, just know book number 26, wherever I have it posted, is coming out at the end of October, and I'm excited for it. So she did take a little bit of a break from the Kay Scarpetta series, and now she's back at it. So hooray for all of us who are fans of Kay. So that's going to do it for October. Like I said, just a handful of books, but let me know what I've missed. Of course, every time I do this, like more books come onto my radar and I'm like, how did I miss that? So I know that there's something in here I'm missing, but let me know what you're most excited to read. Are any of these your most anticipated books? Just let me know. Let's talk books down below like we usually do. So until next time, thank you guys for being here and take care, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the now cool fall weather. I hope it's here to stay. I am living my best life right now. And I will see you guys in another video really soon. Bye, everybody.